Hello, welcome to the official AI Business channel. Today we're going to be talking about Google's new Notebook LM tool. Now, if you haven't come across this before, I'm going to show you the tool. It's completely free to use and there are many business use cases. So I'm going to run through a few of those for you, just so you can see how you can incorporate that into your business. So let me just share my screen quickly. Okay, so this is the tool. I'm going to pop the link to it in the description, so you'll have that. But basically, it's a notebook taking app. It doesn't sound very inspiring, but trust me, this is going to be an absolute game changer for your business if you implement it correctly. So as you can see there, the things that it mainly does, it will answer questions. If you upload documents to it or websites, it will summarize in a much easier note fashion, but it is so much more powerful than what it sounds. So let me give you a couple of use cases so we can test this out and you can really see how it works. So if I was just to click on create, and what we're going to do here, we are going to imagine that you work in a business that services legal firms. Just picking some things at random here. This will work with any industry. But you really want to raise your profile. So you want to be seen as thought leaders, experts within your space, but maybe you just don't have time to keep writing blogs and articles. You know, you've got lean resources. You haven't got the time or the equipment like I have to keep doing podcasts. So this is a really neat little trick. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab lawgazette.co.uk. We're going to use this example. So this is a news channel, but it's literally work on any website. But let's just grab an article here. So if we say, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just going to grab any article here. I'm just going to grab this URL, head back to Notebook. Now you can, just to touch on this, I'm going to upload this as a link because I've just grabbed the link, but you can get notes from plain text, or you can use Google Docs that you currently have, Google Slides. We'll come on to this a little bit later, but basically you could build an entire knowledge base for your business very, very quickly using old documents you may have stored. Now, in my time, I've used internal systems like Confluence as an example, which become a bit of a graveyard because people just throw things in there and it becomes quite hard to look through. It's not labeled correctly, documents are too long. We're going to cover all of these things during this this demo. So coming back to this, I'm going to paste this link. And very quickly, it's read that page. I mean, you saw how quick that was. That's in real time. So it's done a summary here. Now, one of the things that does take a little bit longer, but it is the most powerful thing in my own opinion, I'll actually show you, but really it's to generate the audio files from this. Now, to have a podcast set up, we all know that audio does very well in terms of engagement. You know, people don't like to sit and run through huge documents, and I'm going to talk through that in a little bit as well. But if you can summarize, I'm just going to press this generate button here. Okay, now this does take a little bit of I say a little bit at a time. It takes a couple of minutes. But what it's doing is taking all of the text of that article and it's going to create a podcast for you just based on that. So that's all you've done. You've copied a link, you've pasted it into Notebook LM. I assume this is going to use Gemini's, being Google, it's going to use Gemini technology. And it's going to spit out a two-person, not just a single podcast, a conversation just from copying that link. Now, this is really powerful if you then want to go to Spotify, and you'll see that you can do this within 5 minutes. So you can go to Spotify and you could create a podcast for weeks, if not months ahead, using topics within your niche. So powerful. But while that's generating, I'm just going to have a look at some of the other things it can do here. So if you have, say you've dropped in a health and safety document for your business, not the most interesting topic. Okay, people don't want to sit and read health and safety documents. They should, but you know, reality are they're not going to. So you can create FAQs, so it pulls out the most relevant information there. It has a study guide option, so if you are studying for any qualification, again, you can put in sort of PDFs of documents, which we'll do in a second, and that will create a study guide. So again, it will pull out summarize the most relevant information. You can create timelines, briefing docs, tables of contents. There's lots of things it can do like any other note taker, but this just does it super quick. Now, this may take, as I say, 3 to 4 minutes to generate a podcast. So I'm going to just pause me here, and I'm going to come back just when that's done. So bear with me a second. Okay, so welcome back. That took just under 3 minutes to do, and as you can see, it's now generated this audio notebook. I'm just going to hit play on this just so you can see exactly how that sounds.
Okay, so picture this. You really need legal help, right? Like something super important. But affording a lawyer, it feels as impossible as, I don't know, growing another pair of arms. Sadly, for many in the UK, that's the reality. The legal aid system, it's clinging on for dear life.
Yeah, it's not a great situation.
So we're diving into a new piece from the Law Society Gazette today. Title's a mouthful. New Justice Minister vows to prioritize legal aid funding and restore trust with legal aid agency. Phew. Big promises, but are we hearing the same old song and dance, or could the...
Okay, I'm not going to play too much of that. You get the idea. It's a 2-person summary, literally created a 6.5-minute podcast. Great for bite-sized chunks of information, summaries of news articles. So if you're looking at things like Google Trends and you want to summarize what's happening within your sector on that day, this is a fantastic way to just create this podcast. Literally 5 minutes, that's all it took. You could queue up days, weeks, months of podcasts. So that's really mind-blowing, I think, for me. Now, off the back of that, as you can see, it has suggested questions as well. So, if you wanted to write blogs, then you could do that. So you can click a button here, and that will very quickly answer some of the questions here. Obviously, you can type in your own questions at the bottom, but there you go. There's just some additional notes you could have there as well. So that's one use case. Now, let's go back to the beginning here. So let's add another notebook. So again, keeping with the legal theme, say we are looking at a law firm here, just one I've Googled, Russell Cook. I know nothing about them. I'm going to come back, drop and paste that URL. Again, that summarized it. Again, you could do the audio. But if you're doing some research, say you are looking to break into a new sector, say you're an accountancy, for example, but you want to break into the legal sector, you could bring up the top 100 law firms. It quite easily create this library of what do they do. So, for example, I don't know what they do, what law they cover, but drop that URL into there, and you can create this library, this notebook library, which would show you what sectors they work in, where they work. It's just so powerful. It's just such a powerful tool to get all this information together. And there you go. So it shows that they work in all of these different sectors. So, for example, if you're a recruitment agency, if you're doing any kind of software sales and you're specializing in any particular industry, you'll very quickly build up knowledge of each firm. So it will save you having to sit and read through the About Us page for every website. Very, very quick. Okay, so let's go back and just create another notebook. Really, I should be naming these as well, but for the purpose of this, just don't have time. So I'm going to grab an old report here. So this is GEM's 2023 Recruitment Trends report. We're going to use this as an example. So let me grab this PDF. What we're going to do, we're going to drop that in. Okay, where are you? Too many documents, that's my problem. Here we go. Okay, so let's drag this over here. And I'm just going to show you this report as well. It says 64 pages. It's a 64-page report. See a ton of information. Now, the best will in the world, I just don't have time to sit and read all of this. Great insights, very useful knowledge. But, you know, we're busy people. So let's come back here. So let's summarize that. And again, there you go. So you can create a whole FAQ off of this, which I might do in a second. Actually, what are the key challenges? So say you're within marketing and you can take a document like this and create your own blogs off the back of it. So you might want to say what are the key challenges and opportunities that talent teams face. So you can really get so many different content ideas for your business very, very quickly off the back of other people's work. So yes, it's a little bit lazy, but when you're working when you're a solopreneur or a small business owner, you just don't have time to do all of this research, all of this writing, creating a podcast, you can do it off of all of this. And there you go. So there's your key parts. So if you wanted to put together a blog, if you did have that time, here are your key points. So you can quickly go and do that. So yeah, I don't really have too much else to say on this, really. All I would say, go and try it out. It is a fantastic tool. There's so many different use cases. You can use it for any sector. And there's so many different ways. So if you like this, I'm probably going to do some more videos on this once I deep dive a little bit more. But it is quite a new product. So, and it's free. It's totally free. Check out the link in the description. I'm going to post that in there. Go and have a play with it. And if you like this video, please subscribe, and I will see you back soon.